Today it's all about Game Master preparation, people. This is a work day. But before we do our work day, we actually have to go through some stuff. I normally run this pretty much roughly, I would say, every 2 months. Okay. You can absolutely start talking personal account. You can talk before I start the live stream, not a problem. I'm here. Okay, I'm all for it. Hello, Matt. Hello, Fred Huber. Thank you for being here, personal accountant. Now, I have a lot to go through today, and I'm going to try to be fairly quick about that because we have to save most of our time for actually creating an adventure. And I'm going to do it a slightly different way. You guys have got really good at this. We've been making one adventure every week. And so I've got a different approach. We're going to go back to the approach that we've been using quite a lot, but with a little bit of a twist. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. All the best, people, all the best. I'll be interested to see what comes from this. My suggestion to you is grab some food, some drink, make sure you're comfortable. Negative space. Better speaker? Yes, I'm very much aware that if you're on a phone, you might find the sound is a little bit light. There's not much I can do about that. That is very much a YouTube problem. Anyway, grab that food and drink. Make sure you're comfortable. I do my slideshow. I'll go over running, actually putting an adventure together, writing an adventure, creating one for yourself, and then we'll actually make an adventure. I have a map with me today. Okay. Now that it's all done, let's get started, shall we? I think that's where we're going. Yep. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games. This is Game Master Preparation, Lesson 1, Adventure Building. Making adventures, creating adventures, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Essentially, we're going to make something that you can run, you can use as a Game Master, Dungeon Master. So my overview is the types of adventures that you can create, the types of quests that you can include in your adventures, the basic adventure building structure that you might need, and your miscellaneous recommendations, because I always try to do that. Objectives, I will explain how to build an adventure for your tabletop role-playing game. I will demonstrate that process, and I'm going to make you participate. Of course, you don't have to, but it would be good if you did. Types of adventures, breaking it down into its basic components. Starting off with the sandbox or hex crawl adventure. This is where the characters start at a set point, but they can venture out to a new location or new place as they explore. Pretty much anywhere. They could go north, south, east, west, or anything in between. Okay, so you have to prepare quite a lot of material when you're running a sandbox. There is the linear adventure. And this is where the characters start at a beginning point or a beginning location, and they follow a set path to a climax in your story or your plot. Okay, this adventure has a very strong plot line compared to something like a sandbox, which has a very flexible plot line, because the plot line is created by the players, whereas a linear adventure generally is created, that plot line is created by the game master. It's a different approach. Okay, then we have what is called the point crawl adventure, and it is built from meaningful locations. Okay, you might still have a starting location, but meaningful locations, and there will be a limited number of them, it's finite, that are connected by in-world pathways. So it's like a branching tree. You start at the very beginning at the base of the tree, and the further you go up, there are more branches coming off. So every branch you go to extends off into separate branches, which means you can wind up in all sorts of different locations. Now, the vast majority of adventures are going to be a combination of all three approaches. That is the sandbox, the linear adventure, and the point crawl adventure. In some cases, you'll have an adventure which is linear, where you jump on basically the railway train and onto the train, and you follow the track down to point A or point B or point C. You get off, you explore that sandbox, and then you get back on the train and you move on to the next train station, essentially. Point crawl can also have sandboxes within it. Okay, it's still possible to do that. The only difference is, instead of being one track, you have multiple tracks that you can actually venture onto. Then we have what is called location. Pardon me. My voice is breaking today. Location-based adventures and then event-based adventures. There are two different types. So the location-based adventure, they don't have a set plot or events that take place in a particular order. Okay? What you'll find with a location-based adventure is they are not plot-driven. The location-based adventure is where the environment has a villain or a potential conflict or threat that the player characters can interact with. It is normal practice, though, even with a location-based adventure, to have an overall goal. You would still have some sort of adventure hook, a goal for them to achieve in that location. So they are not devoid of plot, but their plot is not strong. It is not complicated, because location-based adventures, these are built, the plot is built by the player characters, not by the game master. It's a very different approach. The next one is your event-based adventure, often set out in a flow chart, and there might be branches coming off. With multiple branches, there will usually be just one starting point, and an event-based adventure has a strong underlying plot with additional subplots attached to it. Time frames are really important with an event-based adventure, and you have to map them out at various locations, because time frames have to actually take place. If the players are not in the right place, things continue to move forward. Now, one of the problems with event-based adventures is they're hard to write without railroading your players. In fact, they're almost impossible to do so. Location-based adventures, which is why original D&D made location-based adventures, is it gives the players more choice, and you do not need to put them onto a railway track. They're not bad. What you can do, though, is you can build a location-based adventure, run your location-based adventure, and you can overlay event-based adventure concepts over the top of a location-based adventure. It is possible to do this. It will be a bit more complicated, but it can be done. Okay. Moving on, types of quests. Okay, we want to talk about the types of quests. I've talked about these before. We were talking about fetch quests yesterday. Fetch quests are when the characters have to get something from another location that is potentially a long way away and get it for somebody else, not for themselves. I've mentioned this before, that Avengers Endgame is a good example of this, where you had to collect all the Affinity stones, put them into a gauntlet, snap the finger, and bring everybody back who got snapped away. Okay? That's not for you, it's for everybody else, right? So that's your fetch quest. Just as a dog will go and fetch a stick when you throw it. It's a fetch quest. Then you have the delivery quest. This is when the characters are in possession of some sort of object, a person, a piece of information, and they must deliver that information, that person or object, to a specific location. Now, part of Lord of the Rings is a delivery quest, where we take the one ring and we have to take it to Mount Mordor. Obviously, there's more tied into this, but that is very much a delivery quest. Then you have the protection quest. This is when the characters escort a person, or take a person or people, or even an item, potentially, okay? And they have to protect that person or people or that item, and they have to get to a secondary location, potentially. Or they might be protecting it at the current location. It's all about making sure that that person is still alive, or those people are still alive, or that object is not destroyed. Now, good examples of this are The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, where Kevin Costner has to protect Whitney Houston from an assassin. Or The Seven Samurai, where the Seven Samurai are protecting a village from bandits. This is your protection quest. Then we have what is called the Destroy quest and the Kill quest. Now, I pull them together, but they are kind of separate, and they are their own thing, okay? But they are kind of very similar. They require the characters to go on a monster hunt, vanquish a main villain, or break an object or destroy an object. In other words, you have to kill something, whether it's a creature, monster, or person, or you have to destroy something, okay? Whether it's an object or information, it doesn't matter. Now, a great example of this is Star Wars. Always Star Wars, because You have to destroy Darth Vader or the Emperor, or you have to blow up the Death Star. These are your destroy quests, your kill quests. You have your investigation quest, where the characters have to find new information to investigate a mystery, solve a crime or a problem. And Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson is a great example of this. Okay, they look for clues, they figure out who is the culprit, they solve crimes. It's all about investigation. Negotiation quests require that characters deceive or persuade someone that involves some sort of diplomacy, subterfuge, or even trade. Okay, negotiation is usually less about fighting and more about talking. And Star Trek is a great example of this, where we go to an alien world and we have to negotiate with the aliens rather than try to blow them up. Next, 7. This is your survival quest, where we force the player's characters into a dangerous situation. The main characters are forced into a situation where they have to survive, a dangerous situation that they have to get out of, or it might be a natural disaster they have to survive, or they're being hunted, or an army is on the warpath after them, or they have to survive a prison. Now, examples of this would be something like the Terminator movie, where Sarah Connor is protected by Reese, and it's really just about Reese and Sarah Connor surviving. They just got it. They're on the run, but it's all about just surviving the experience. Or Alien, the first movie, where the crew of the ship have just got to survive the experience or interaction with the alien that is pretty much killing everybody on the ship. It's all about survival. Okay, the last one is the attainment quest. And the attainment quest looks very similar to the fetch quest, but there is a difference. This is where the characters are seeking treasure, like objects. It could be an object, it could be magic items, it could be gold, it could be money. Okay, they might be seeking out a person. This person might be able to give them political power or position in society. They might be seeking out land or a castle. But whatever it is, they might even be seeking out additional power that's magical in some way. But the attainment quest is all about the character getting something out of it for themselves, whatever it might be. So you're attaining something. You have to do something to gain something for yourself. That's the difference between all the other ones that I was just talked about. Now, Moana is a good example where you have Moana is trying to save her world, her island, and the sea around it from this blackness. And she has to go and find a green stone and put it somewhere. And really, it's very much about attainment for her, understanding her freedom, freeing her world, her island from this danger, and having the opportunity to experience the world too. It's very much about character development for her. There's also Finding Nemo, where Dad Fish is looking for Nemo, little baby fish, and Nemo has gotten lost, and Daddy Fish has to go and find Nemo. It's really about attaining something for the dad, okay? The attainment quest, essentially. So that's the different types. But we obviously have to look at how do you build your adventure? How's it structured? How does that actually look? One of the easiest ways is to break it down into a very simple approach. I use this approach all the time, and I have used it for many, many years. And I suggest that whatever you're doing, you probably want to follow this kind of rough guide. And that is, the best approach I find for your own adventures is to do what Chris Perkins does. Chris Perkins' speedy way to actually get your adventure done is, in terms of your adventure notes, do not need to look like a published adventure. So a single piece of paper, A4 size page, and 7 headings. And one of those headings is going to be your adventure title or designation to differentiate your session notes from everything else. But your adventure title. That's simple enough. Okay. Then adventure hook, or adventure goal, or just the adventure recap based off what happened last time. 3 or 4 sentences is good enough. Okay, that is what you need. This will tell the players and you what they have to try to achieve. So you can get stuff on adventure goals from Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Ed Edition, Dungeon Master Guide for 5e. They often have a lot of resources around that. Sorry, people, I've got a bit of gas. Next is a list of the player characters' names. It's always a good idea to keep a note of that. Now, this is for your group. This is not for a published adventure, okay? You wouldn't do this for a published adventure. It wouldn't make any sense. But their name, their class, their race, their flaw, their goal in one sentence. Get rid of all of the ands, its, the stuff. Get rid of that. This reminds the Game Master who the important characters are in your adventure. Of course, there are other really important characters, but ultimately the most important characters are the ones played by your players. Yep. Okay, create some adventure locations. And I'm going to suggest about 5 in total is all you need. A town, city, or tavern, it's really a starting point. What do you need in terms of locations? You need the name of the location and a basic description. That's really all you need. And you can use a variety of different things, okay? Things like a dungeon or a planar location, an urban setting. You might have a water location like an island, wilderness locations. There's a lot of toolbox stuff you can find in various Dungeon Master Guides and Game Master Guides. So I'm not going to go over that. Try using pre-made maps and realistic historic locations as your inspiration for your locations. This might include, and I've said this before, a separate page on top of that A4 page for your map. You probably need to have a map. We're going to use a map today, by the way. Next, make a list of 5 non-player characters. Why do I say 5? Because 5 is an easy number. It's like saying, how long will it take to actually build the house? 2 weeks. If you know the joke, great. If you don't, never mind. Okay, here we go. So what do you need for your non-player characters? You need their name. Most important, out of anything else, that's what you need. You probably need to know what their appearance is. Now, all it needs to be is 1 or 2 words. It does not need to be a full sentence or a great huge paragraph. Their personality. Pick one personality trait. That's all you need. And motivation. Now, if you have to strip it down to its bare essentials, my suggestion to you is always go with the character name and motivation. Okay, you can live without appearance and personality at a stretch. But those other things you probably definitely want to have. Now, the different types of non-player characters that you will need for your adventure is probably you're going to have a villain. Usually an adventure does have a villain of some kind, so create the villain. You might have a patron or a quest giver. They're essentially the same thing. You might have a victim, somebody who the villain has been picking on. That's part of the adventure. You might have somebody who's a helper, who helps the players and their characters get through the adventure. Or you might have a mentor, which is like a helper, but they reoccur and they crop up more than once. And then the rest of it is just extra for your cast. Okay? Any other extra NPCs you have are just extra fillers for dealing with shopkeepers and other things. Now, the Game Master's book of non-player characters is probably the best resource I've seen in terms of having pre-made NPCs. But we're not here necessarily to do that. You're going to be making a lot of your own stuff, right? The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Ed Edition has got great resources for that. And I highly recommend the backgrounds from the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. I know that sounds bizarre, but honestly, it's really quite good. So, I always found that those backgrounds are probably more useful to a game master than they are to a player. You can also use Dungeon Master Guides. Various Dungeon Master Guides do have information on villain goals and how to make NPCs. I've talked about how to make NPCs using Rory's story cubes for inspiration. If you're unsure about that, just simply ask and I'll point you in the right direction. Create different encounters. Now, your encounters might be event-based, but they might be tied to a location. So you just break up your location, you number it off, and you have, say, about 6. And that's a short adventure. You can have longer ones, of course. Don't bother with random encounters. Random encounters tend to be just combat encounters in most people's heads, so forget about that. Don't focus on encounters that are necessarily just about random combat encounters. That's easy to do. Don't even worry about the random encounters. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't use random encounters. What I'm saying is don't focus on that because it's certainly the easiest part to deal with. Okay? What you want to focus on is What encounters, what situations, what locations, where are you likely to have a fight, battle, combat? Where is it likely to be a dialogue, a social interaction? Where you're more likely to just be exploring a location, seeing what's there? Where are you going to put your traps? Okay. What sort of puzzles will you be using? Are you going to be using a skill challenge or an adventure challenge of some kind? And good resources are the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters. Has a whole bunch, it's an excellent tool. It's got a bunch of stuff. Okay, not just maps, but also information that helps break it all down for you. Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters, probably one of the best resources I've ever seen for puzzles. Okay, for actually being able to get it to happen. And then the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Edition has a lot of traps. Unfortunately, the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D 5e, if you're using that, has stuff on traps, but it's pretty limited. It's a very poor resource with regard to this. You're almost wasting your time with other things, unfortunately. Okay. Lastly, set your rewards for completion of that adventure. That is going to be character advancement, so getting experience points, maybe just gaining a level if you're using milestones, gaining magic items or getting magic items, maybe political power, maybe just treasure, money, or maybe it's just a non-player character relationship that you can use later on that is beneficial, that your players get some joy from. Yep, those are the things we want to consider. Miscellaneous recommendations, people. What are we looking at here? Well, I always say don't spend all your time on developing one concept for your adventure. Try to move fairly quickly. You can always go back, okay? Don't sweat the creative ideas in your adventure. You have no idea when something is really good. You don't know what your players will like. You don't know what people will like. One of the hard truths about making an adventure is the only way to test to see if it's any good is to try it out. You have to try it out. And that's the litmus test. And some people will hate it and some people won't. Some people will love it. You never know. So you just have to try things out. It's not about being completely original and creative. It's an experience. As long as you give people the experience they were looking for and they had a good time, that's really all you can ask for. Okay, that's all I have to say with regard to making your own adventures today. Whew, that was a lot. So I want to say thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon, because without them, this program would not exist. I want to thank you for watching and listening. And look, all the best with your adventure creation. Do not go away, because we're going to be making an adventure in the next few minutes. Okay? Probably the next hour and a half, roughly. We'll see how well we do. I don't know how we'll make it happen, but we're going to be making an adventure. So till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm here. I'm back. So I had to actually create a new scene very quickly. So I'm going to move straight over to that screen rather than to my face because I need you to start working on this. And we only have roughly about an hour and a half to get it done. I know I've put you on under a time pressure, which is totally unfair. I have a document where I will be taking all your ideas and putting it into that adventure. So for those of you who don't know what we're dealing with here, we're dealing with a tomb. A tomb, not a tome, a tomb. It's a tomb where you bury somebody. For those of you who haven't figured it out, Area 6 is probably where the main buried individual is. Okay? What are we putting here? So it's a tomb. We probably need to put some traps in here. There are, I would imagine that areas 5, 3, and 4 are kind of probably be full of traps. Even area 7 might be full of traps as well. So this is how it works, people. I'm going to go through the chat very quickly, but I want to prompt you now to get you going. Okay? Hashtag. Now, what I would still like to do is I would still like to have at least 5 NPCs. We're dealing with more than 6 locations, which means we're going to have more than 6 encounters today. We're going to have 17. That's a lot. I'm totally aware. It's all right. Okay? It's not the end of the world. We can cope with this. So, yes. And we're going to have a villain. And I would appreciate if we do not have another lich. Can we have, how about a mummy lord or something like that? Okay, something other than a lich, because every time we do this, I find myself back to the lich thing. So this is a tomb. Okay, so we are making a tomb adventure. Okay, and this is how you do it, people. Hashtag number of the room. So give me the number of the room, just as Pale Rider is doing right now. He's already started working. For those of you who need a better view of this, I have put it up onto my Discord server, so you can actually look at it there if you're finding it difficult on YouTube. Okay, if that's been a problem, you can get to Discord. It's in the adventure design area. Okay, so no liches today, not today. Hello, Overboard. How are you doing? Nice to have you here, Joe. Okay, so number of room. And then what we're dealing with after that is, if we can get rid of this, and actually, then we're going to give me, now you don't have to give me everything. Okay, remember, we're only going to do like 1 or 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences. So don't feel like you have to write everything. That's not necessary. Remember, it's not for publication. It is just for you to use in your adventures. So it's all right. You do not have to fill out every single piece of information. So what features in the room, noises, if that's important, it might not be, furniture, odors, I think that's odors, okay, odors, odors, God, now this is confusing. Odors, monsters. We're going to have monsters probably. We might have some traps, some hazards. We might have treasure. Got to have treasure somewhere. Treasure. We might have an NPC to talk to. We might have a puzzle. Please make them nice, simple puzzles, please. Okay, don't expect me to write up a puzzle. Okay, a couple of words and say, that's a puzzle. Can you make it, Fred? Ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. Okay, etc. All right, so let's see what you can come up with. I will transfer your ideas into the document, and then I will show you the document near the end or partway through, because usually we sort of get a little lost after that. So yeah, let's see what you can do. And I will add in my own stuff. I have a few ideas myself. I feel like room 6 is going to be full of arcane locks. I feel like that is our central room that we're dealing with here. There's obviously some sort of sarcophagus in room 6. So we need to put something horrible in there. A mummy lord would be quite fun, honestly. Then we have 2 entrances. Area 1 is an entrance. There's stairs leading into sort of a cave-like looking area. And area 2 has also got stairs leading in. Jaquasian design, people. The idea is that Jaquasian designers, there's more than one entrance, more than one exit, and more than one route to get anywhere. So we're not just following a central linear map. Because you can draw a map that's linear, but we don't want a linear map. We want players to have choice so that they can choose how they kill themselves. I mean, how they adventure. Okay. Cool. All right, it's good to have Matt and Fred Huber here, personal accountants here. Negative space. I often like these memes a lot. So I spend way too much time on creating memes for my live streams. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes, honestly, they're like a dad joke, or they're worse than a dad joke. They're just downright stupid and bad. I do try, though. Should we be evil and go for illithid? Well, I suppose you could, but does it make sense that illithids would be here? I feel like it doesn't feel like it's organic enough for an illithid. But, you tell me. Mind stealers? What about a mind-stealing mummy lord? That would be funny. Can we not have a mind flayer illithid mummy lord? I think we can. Honestly, I think that's definitely could go down well. Shiner81, hello, how's it going? Long shots here. Hello, cool. McD found Nemo. Fillet of the fish is back on the menu. Okay. The fish slaying. Okay. Dinner time for me. Okay, you do that. We're all right. We're going to keep going. And I can see there are a lot of ideas. That guy has already chucked in number 7. Interesting. Pale Rider's working real hard today. He's not mucking around. And I see that Fred Huber has already gone straight for the throat. He's gone straight for the central chamber. So let's pull down some stuff. So entrance 1 and entrance. Okay, so I need to differentiate these entrances. One is a large entrance, one is a small entrance. I think that's the easiest way to designate them. Large entrance is one large entrance. And what have you written here? 2 pillars frame the entrance. Okay, which sounds about right because that's what we've got there. We've got 2 pillars. And then we got here, the pillars are carved into 3 meter tall, 3 meter tall, hawk-headed humans. I like it. So that's if anyone thinking of plundering the tomb passes them, they come alive and attack. Okay. All right. So you've already decided to put your defensive guardians in place. That's fine. And you've got another entry for 1. So let's put that in and see what you've got here. So at the bottom. At the bottom of the stairs, among a lot of bones, is a journal with notes which could hold clues to what could be expected. And let's go possibly a map. For those of you who struggle drawing out maps and it causes you so much trouble and you don't want it to sort of cause you some sort of mental illness, throw the map at your players right smack at the entrance. Why not? 4. Is partially flooded and is the lair of a mated pair of naga. Okay, so we're not putting trap here, we're putting monsters here. Okay. What is this chamber though? Because we haven't really described chamber 4, but you have put a monster here. Okay. Right. It's partially flooded. We just don't know what sort of room it is, and we don't really know very much about this room. We just know that there are a pair of mated naga here, and it is flooded. Okay, cool. All right. Do we need more? I don't know. You tell me. 2. Now, Fred Huber has come up with the excavated entrance. Okay, you want to call it the excavated entrance. That's fine. Let's do that. So that's number 2. The excavated entrance. And how's this going to look? When you guys get lost and you don't know which rooms have been done, you just let me know, and an updated list will come your way. Okay, excavated entry, a grave. Grave robbers. Okay, so let's go here. Grave robbers dug their way into the tomb. It is partially collapsed and the rubble-strewn floor is difficult terrain. A misstep can cause the room to cave in. Okay. All right, so what we've done is we've set up essentially a hazard. So let's structure this a little bit. A character making too much noise or disturbing the walls can cause the room to cave in, can cause the room to collapse. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, so we have created a hazard, and we've got an explanation as to what's going on here. Too much. All right, good. Nice. Well done. Very nice. Change hands from the ceiling. Chains hands. No lich guys. Chains hands. I don't know what that means. What are you trying to tell me? That guy. You had number 7 marked down. Where is number 7, by the way? Oh, it's this huge room. It's sort of like a double room here. Let's see what you have here. Now, I'm not trying to build this for 5e, for those of you who are wondering. Okay, a tomb might be a prison. It might literally be a prison. I think that's a very good idea, Pale Rider. We can make our central location a tomb, but it's also a prison to stop whatever's there getting out. Yep. Okay. Let's go with that guy, since you have done 7, and it's a big area. I don't know if we've got a name for it, but you have described it, and you've put something here. So what do we got here? I'm going to call it the double gallery. The walls slowly move from south toward from south toward the north. I am a little lost as to what that means. Perception check of 12 plus. You realize you are inside a snake. Okay, all right. So inside a snake. So okay. So I like the idea what you're dealing with here. So let's get rid of the perception check idea though, and let us do something else with this. The chamber, the double chamber appears to be the fossil remains of a giant snake's ribs and innards. I like that idea a lot. So let's do this. And some of it is still active, which is great. So touching the floor, walls, or ceiling with bear skin causes acid burns. Okay, so this is the, let's call this the snake gallery now. It's definitely feels like it's got a snake feel to it. Snake gallery. The walls are okay, so the walls slowly move from south toward the north. It's almost still alive. We've actually got it partially alive. It appears to be fossil remains, but it's not. Okay, they're inside a snake. That's very clever, I have to say. Pretty smart. Pardon me. By the way, Area 5, you see those lines with the little those sort of like looks like a series of rakes on the walls. I feel like Area 5 is going to be full of spiked wall traps. Spiked wall traps that can be activated if people go in the wrong place, and you wind up getting skewered a little bit. Area 3, what do you got here? The door to the west is locked. Well, I'm going to honestly, right now, I'm going to lock all the doors on Area 6 anyway. All the doors to this chamber have an arcane lock spell cast on them. Dear. Okay, all right. So, so let's do room 3. I feel like room 3 really needs to have some sort of trap. We don't want them to go too far, do we? If it's a tomb, you're trying to keep people out, trying to keep people in, you probably want to put something like that there. It is filled with mummies, the servants of the Lord. I see. We're filling it with. It is filled with mummies of the servants of the Lord. I am a little unsure what we're dealing with there. So I'm going to put a question mark there. We'll come back to this area 3. Keep going. There's a lot to catch up on. So area 6. Fred Huber, what have you got here? Doors to area 6 from 5333 are sealed with arcane sigils and barred, magical and extremely complex locks. Okay, so we're going to add in some more complexity to make sure that they are hard to get into, which just makes it all the worse when we release whatever horror is in there. Okay, let's do this. We'll call it the main tomb. Lord's tomb. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Sorry, people. My little evil laugh came out there. I try not to do that too much if I can help it. So the sarcophagus is being converted into a vat for an elder brain. Oh, you God, you want to put that? Okay. 8 illithids are busy working on the conversion of this converted tub. All the doors to this chamber have an arcane lock spell cast on them. And we've got to add in your little extra bit and piece. So you want to go with an elder brain. I think we should go a little, let's get a little silly. The sarcophagus is being converted into a vat for a mummified mummified elder brain lord. Jeez. Dear. Okay, there's a lot going on there. 8 illithids. Let's do this. 8 illithids are busy working on the conversion of this conversion of this tub of this coffin into a tub. Right, so does that okay, so we've got 8 illithid working on it. We've got a mummified elder brain lord in here. A mummified elder brain lord. And let's grab some of the other ideas. You had mechanical locks going on. You don't want the elder brain there yet? Is it going somewhere else? Okay, that's fine. Where are we sticking that? So what we need is, this is interesting. Prisoner, a demigod, was stripped of most of his power, mummified, and locked in this tomb. Okay. Okay, so we can let's put this as sort of part of the history, because it's being repurposed. It's obviously a tomb. The ancient tomb was the resting place for a demigod who was stripped of most of his powers, then mummified and locked in the sarcophagus. That causes some interesting problems, doesn't it? Sarcophagus. The Mummy Lord. Let's have it roam. The Mummy Lord now roams. God. Roams the tomb. I feel really bad. No, I don't. I don't really feel that bad. So we've got rid of whatever demi-lord was mummified in there, and now we've got illithids in there trying to set it up for a mummified elder brain lord. Okay. Okay. 4. The chamber was a room used for religious rites. Statues and altars peek out of the water. Okay. All right. It's a ritual chamber. Number 4. Dun dun dun. Ritual chamber. And let's drop this in here. Remember, it would be nice if we have some NPCs we can talk to rather than just butcher. A chamber. A room used for religious rites. Indicated by the scenes painted on the walls. Okay. Statues and altars. Statues and altars peek out of the water. Water that has flooded the chamber. Okay. And then this is the layer. Come on, Fred, get it right. This is the layer of a mated pair of naga. Good. All right. 4 is nice. Looking good there. Looking good. Now I need to make sure extremely so magical. We've got arcane locks, but extremely complex locks. And that's for 6. So I'll add that into 6. All the doors to this chamber have an arcane lock spell cast on them with extremely complex locks. And we'll just leave it at that for now. How are we doing? Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing fine. Fine. I haven't even got to the bottom of this. You guys are going like a bat out of hell, which is great. Awesome. We definitely need something you can talk to, even if it's like a magic mouth somewhere, people. Just something. 11. So 11, I see we're 11. 11 looks like there is a whole lot of little alcoves cut into this hallway, and then there's part of a room that's connected to it, and it looks like a pool or a fountain or something like that. The Hall of the 9. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Oh, good Lord, I like it. Death Knights and Skeleton Warriors. Dear. Okay, we're getting ruthless now. Ruthless. Okay, let's put in 11. I was trying really hard when I was making the map to try to make the map feel interesting enough that you would have a lot of ideas that would sort of spit out. It wouldn't be hard to think about them. Hall of 9. So each alcove has a Death Knight or Skeleton Warrior. Basically Nazgul, yeah. But they are... the Undead Guardians. Undead Guardians. Guardians are here to keep... Guardians. Yes. This is very The Mummy, isn't it? Guardians are here to keep the Mummy Lord contained. Well, that might not work so well. We need to do something with 11. There needs to be something about this. It looks like it's a circle with... It looks like it's a fountain or a pool of water or something like that. So if somebody comes up with an idea for 11, let me know and we'll slot that all in. Okay. Pale Rider, you are on fire, man. Okay, Treasure Room, 10. Yes, absolutely. So if you hadn't figured it out, my intention was that Area 10, Room 10, would be a treasure room. Area 9 would be a treasure room. And even Area 8 could potentially be a treasure room. There's a lot of treasure rooms coming off this thing. Okay, so... and, of course, one of those treasure rooms has a secret door access, which is 9. So let's see what 10 is going to be. I always find it interesting when I do these with you guys because you come up with some really ideas and then I wind up getting something I want to add to it. I'm like, oh, man, I can do something with this. Okay, so treasure room. A pit trap is in front of the biggest pile of treasure. Is that what we're trying to do here? I'm just trying to think. We can have a pit trap underneath the biggest pile. Oh, okay, I see why you're doing this. I see what you're trying to do here. Okay, fair enough. Let's do that. I understand now. I get what you're trying to do here. But is it real treasure? I feel like we can make this fake, false treasure. Because, with any tomb, if you have a look at how a tomb is created, they're made up, Egyptian tombs are made up like this. You have your gallery or your corridor. You have a annex for storing stuff. And you have your antechamber. You have your main sarcophagus chamber, okay, where the buried individual is. You have a treasure chamber that will probably come off the main chamber. And often there are fake treasure rooms. Fake treasure rooms. We should definitely include some fake treasure rooms in here. Just to annoy somebody. Okay. A pit trap is in front of the biggest pile of treasure made up of gold, silver, and copper coins. Let's include quite a few different things. Platinum. Electrum doesn't come up that often. Why can't I get that right? Okay, let's just have a look here. Let's make sure I get this to work. Oop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right, okay. So, money. Yes. Electrum, platinum. Okay, so platinum. Oh, I see. That's why it doesn't understand platinum. Okay, platinum, gold, electrum, silver. Electrum, silver and copper coins. The pit. Fools. The pit leads to a let's make it a deep hole. 100-foot deep hole with poisonous spikes. Poisonous spikes. There we go. All right, so that is our main treasure room. Now, you might be thinking, what about magic items? Well, honestly, I think the magic items should be on sitting. The best stuff should probably be with the Mummy Lord or the mummified elder brain thingy Lord. So yeah, just a suggestion. Okay, so that is interesting. Let's see how look. What else we got here? All the treasure chests are chained to the floor with many chains. Well, let's do that. No, I'm missing that bit. Okay, so I'm going to come back to your idea. That's definitely, Joe, I like it. Don't worry about not enough doors and secret doors. It's quite deliberate on my part, okay? It is, I'm not adding stuff to the map. Just stick with the map, okay? I know people want to sort of, oh, let's make an adjustment. How? Okay, so don't worry about that sort of stuff. Just work with what you've got. When the party enters the sarcophagus lining the wall, but open, number of mummies attack. It's 3. Okay, I see what we're dealing with. Okay, interesting. Now we're talking about. So this is a. It's kind of like a crypt, isn't it? All right, so here we go. Paste. Characters entering. Come on, entering. The sarcophagus, lining the walls. Okay. I think we need to a number of open sarcophagus. Yeah. Let's do that. A number of sarcophagus line the walls. Okay. Of open sarcophagus. Sarcophagus. Here we go. Line the walls. Okay. Each stone coffin has a mummy inside that attacks when the room is entered. I think that's what you're trying to aim for. Is entered. Characters. Entered by character. Okay. The door to the west is locked. Okay. It's filled with the mummies of the. It is filled with mummies. It is filled with the. It's filled with the mummified servants of the mummy lord. All right, very the mummy movie, but we've got him there. Okay, we've got that sorted out. Took a little while, got there though. Whew, man. Do we have lots going on here? I can see lots of ideas flowing. I need to catch up a little bit, don't I? Yeah, if I haven't had a meltdown, Nacho, it's it's going to happen eventually. What I also need to do is I probably need to make sure I want to get to this one here. Let's go 7. The gallery, the walls of the tell a tale of the Lord, the original Lord mummy is chained to a throne in the room, possibly. I think we put that somewhere else. I'm going to put that in 13. Either that or we put that information into area 5, which would be even more interesting. I think area 5, because 7, I'm actually like the idea of it being a huge snake. I think that's clever. So let me just, area 5. We'll fill in area 5 now. And then some spike ball traps. Why not? Main gallery. Okay. The walls tell the tale of the Lord buried here. The original mummy lord is chained to a throne in the room. Oh, I know. I think we have him roaming around. I would very much like it that we have some system where the mummy lord could show up at any place. Or do we chain him? No, let's chain him. The original mummy lord is chained to a throne in this room. Possible NPC. Yes, well, we could do that. Okay, so I see the Illithids have chained him there. God, well, it must have been difficult. You have to give the mummy lord a name. If we're going to have a talky lord, we need to have a name for the mummy lord that's here. Okay. So he, she, don't know what that's going to be, will help, is willing to help defeat their Illithid captives. Yes, but the other thing is, because you know what's going to happen. The mummy lord. We're going to give this mummy lord a whole lot of magic items. The mummy lord is wearing a number of magic items, such as a ring of fire immunity, because otherwise they're just going to try to burn it. Fire immunity. Come on, people. If we're going to stick our chained up mummy lord in area 5, if you're going to do something like this, you're going to have to give him some, or her, some good stuff. And we need a name for him or her. Okay? So we want some cool shit for the mummy lord to have. All right. 12, display. 12, display. All right, okay. I'm going to do an update on what rooms have been done in a second, people, by the way. How are we doing? We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Okay. Display of the events of King Tootle locked in, the intended occupant of the sarcophagus. Okay, I see what you're trying to do here. We're trying to give it a name. Lawton? What a terrible name. I can't even pronounce it. It's not going to work for me. 12. It is a display room. I'm fine with a display room there. We can do a display room there. Ah, dear. Trophy display. So. I don't know if I like the name that much, but okay. But here we go. Tootsalotten. The events of King Tootsalotten are are carved into the walls of this chamber. Okay. Oh, we're going to have mummy cats. I see. Okay. The chamber is occupied by, forget about the sarcophagus, but mummified cats. Mummified cats that come to life. All right, so you've put mummified cats in here. Okay, I get it. All right, so there's a lot going on here. I can see this is going to be a interesting. Okay, one of the treasure rooms. I'm so far behind. It's not funny. I might have to do a quick rush through to get it all sorted out. And yes, that might very well be necessary. Let's do this. So I'm going to have to do a quick cut and paste, not going to do tidy up anything, and then we'll come back. Okay, all right. Let's do this. Secret chamber, no secret chamber. So secret chamber, secret door, 9. We'll put it into 9. Your idea is going into 9. And we'll call this the treasure vault. Treasure vault. And the treasure chests, the mini treasure chests vault. The treasure chests, this granite chamber are chained to the floor with many are secured, not chained, secured to the floor with many chains. We don't have much else information on that, but we've got that. Okay. 16 is obvious. What is obvious about 16? It's obviously full of phase spiders. Yes, probably. From the ethereal plane. Yeah. What sort of chamber was it used for? Like, what was it used for at some point? That's, yeah. Okay, let's go here. Plane. I'm going to come back to this because Fred is not moving fast enough and the ideas are flowing far too quick for me to catch up with. 10. 10? We haven't done 10? No, we haven't. No, we have 10. The coins are an illusion. It's really a pile of rot grub worms. Oh, I think we put that in 8. 8 should be the false or fake. 8 should be the false or fake one. False fault. Treasure. Treasure room. Let's put that there. This is going to be interesting. The coins are an illusion. The huge pile of coins gold statues. What else can we weapons, armor, weapons, armor, come on, it's something else. Weapons, armor are an illusion. It's really a pile of rot grub worms. Jeez. God. Okay. So instead of having a treasure pile that comes to life, we now have rot grub worms. I love the idea. I think that's brilliant. Have we made it enticing enough? Okay, Nacho. 10. Coin mimic. You've got to put a coin mimic in 10. I feel like if you're going to put your pile of treasure over the top of a pit that falls down and has spikes and there's poison below, you probably don't need to go with a coin mimic. So let's forget about the coin mimic idea. I will put the coin mimic down as if I can figure out where to put it somewhere else. We might be able to torture our players in another way, but maybe not that way. Because sometimes when you guys come up with ideas, I can just reposition them somewhere else. Coin mimic might come back. You don't have to be worried about missing the live stream yesterday, Nacho. It's not a problem. Had a family over. Well, family's more important than what I do. Hope your fetch quest hooks. We got a lot more than 20, man. There was 64 of them. It was crazy. A chest with a false bottom. Well, we can include a chest with a false bottom, but really, what does that really mean? And ultimately, a chest with a false bottom. What are we trying to achieve? Do you know what I mean? What are we actually trying to achieve by having a false bottom in there? Got to be a bit more. You could have the treasure room with chain down chest rotate upside down if they unlock one of them. Oh, okay. I like this. So the whole chamber rotates if they unlock. Oh dear. Yes, let's do that. That is evil, but we'll still do it. If a chest is unlocked and opened the whole room turns upside down. Okay. We probably need to determine how high the ceiling is too. Let's go 20 foot. The mini treasure chests in this 20 foot high granite chamber are secured to the floor with many chains. Okay, yes, and I like that. That's truly horrible. Has intellect devourer inside the chest. You want to stick an intellect devourer inside a chest. Okay, all right, that's fine. We can do that. I don't know that that's a very nice thing to do, but yep, fine. One of the chests has an oh dear, intellect devourer. Devourer inside. We haven't determined what's in the chests. Are these chests actually full of treasure that they're going to actually be able to get? Or are we just going to tease them with treasure until all this sort of... They just... Oh, we got the treasure. Right, corrupts. Oh, we got the treasure. Fall into a pit. Oh, we got the treasure. Now we're upside down and falling. And opening them up finds intellect devourers. Like, you know, there's got to be some decent payoff at some point. Inverted treasure room? Yes. Make it 8. No, I think it should be 9. I think it should be 9. Honestly, I think that's why we won't switch it round. I actually think it's probably better if we make it 9. I think that still works pretty fine. That's all good. Yeah, no, I did have a meltdown, by the way. 60 was a lot to deal with. It was more than I was actually able to sort of cope with. We had to stop. And I don't know how I'm supposed to get that to you on Patreon. I honestly have no idea. I need to do an update on rooms, and I haven't done that yet. But I'm also well behind. God blimey, you guys have done really, really well. And how much time we've got left? We've got plenty of time too. 5 could be rings driven into the walls to chain prisoners to the walls. Yes, it could be. Yes. Negative space, let's do that. We can do that. We've kind of already gone and stuck a mummy lord there. That's the only thing. What are we missing? We haven't done 13, 14, 15, or 17. Okay, I need to give you an update on what rooms have been done and what haven't been done. But then even I don't know. Have you guys done 13, 14 already? Yeah, okay, so let's do an update on what rooms have actually been sorted out, because this is going to get really confusing for you and for me. And I feel like we're definitely going to finish this today. It's not going to be a problem. But yeah, a little bit of update on where everything has been positioned so we know what's been done. And so, yeah, let's do that now. So, how do I do this? Not that way. Try here. And here we go. Hashtag rooms not completed. And we're going to give you those numbers are... That's done. 13, 14, 15, 17. 13... 14, 15, 17. I think that is it. Yep, correct. Done. All right, so I go back to what I was doing, which was trying to decipher stuff. Oh, okay. All right, we're putting jars there. Okay. All right. I just need to find where's your idea here. 5 has portcullis that are down. Okay. Well, let's see. They appear to be not to be normal metal. Okay, all right, stuck down firmly. Okay, so I feel like you guys want me to move whatever I put it in 5 already, and I'm doing a little bit of adjustment, just to reposition some things that you have decided to move. 11. Ah, here we go. A statue of a beautiful woman with the head of a cat emerges from the pool. It asks the party its intention, specifically if they will breach the main tomb. If so, the undead guardian comes alive. Oh, the undead. Oh, okay. Pale Rider. You've just filled out that. That's nice. Okay, let's do that. Let's stick that in. That is for here. Paste. A statue of a beautiful woman with the head of a cat emerges from the pool of, let's make it glowing water. Glowing pink water. The woman asks the characters their intentions. Specifically, if the characters will breach the main tomb. No. If so, did it come alive? Okay. Good. If so, come alive. Okay. Right. We've set up Hall 11 very nicely. Well done. Long shot. A well for religious purification with the skeleton at the bottom. Maybe they come alive and attack if they enter the well. Well, let's add in your religious purification idea. The well of religious purification, which is pink. Emerges from the bum it. Just let me put it in. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is the problem when you try to cut and paste stuff. Sometimes it won't let you do that. Okay. The well of religious purification. If drunk grants dark vision for 1 hour. Like a cat. There we go. Drink the water. Okay, so I think 11 is pretty much sorted out. That entry's gotten quite big now. So I've taken your idea, long shot, and incorporated it. No, I've included your idea and Pale Riders. Don't need to worry about it. Mummy Lord, DD, King, okay. Karen? Oh, come on. Okay. If you have an illithid, then can we make a room of intellect, an intellect of our kennel? I suppose you could, but which room is it going to be? There's, I think, 14 and 15 have not been turned into anything. 9? Why 9? No, we're not making it. Look, look. Illithid, oh, like intellect of our kennel, I'm fine with, but let's stick it somewhere where it doesn't interfere with something else, because that is terribly cruel to players to say, here's your treasure chests, open each treasure chest and find that there is an intellect devourer in every single one of them. Mummy Lord, Malaki the Shoshu serpent. All right, okay. I'm trying to work with this, people. We might have a different name. We might have a different name. We might not. I don't know. Oh dear. Now, are we getting to the bottom of this? Shadow. Toots a lot eat. Oh, good lord, really? Says, hot single mummies in your area. Okay. Do we? I don't know how does that work. Number of the room. Okay, so we've actually. I think we've actually nailed most of it down now. Looks like you guys have filled in the rest. Let's have a look. 13. Change my mind. 13 makes better intellect of our kennels. 13. Oh shit. Yeah, it probably would. 13. Is 13 actually, it's not occupied. It is now the intellect of our kennels. Oh, good lord. I'm just going to call it the kennels. Intellect devourer. Let's go here. Rows of of small iron cages line the walls of this long room. Intellect devourers are kept in the cages with strong magic so that they don't escape. Okay, the cages can be unlocked with magic. Jeez, that is going to be just horrendous if that starts happening. Okay, maybe the cat thing in 11 could take. Tried to trick the adventurers into finding use a trinket somewhere in the dungeon that would bring the mummy back to life. The cat would be the mummy's familiar. Okay, I'm not sure how to integrate that right now. I'm just going to drop that down into my notes. And we'll see how we go. Paste. Yeah, I'm really not too sure how that will work. 17. Gauntlet. Gauntlets. This passageway is full of traps. 2 statues of 4 armed women with snake bodies attack with poisonous sabers and acid spitting attacks. Okay, the gauntlet. Let's do that. Is 17. All right, so we are very, very close. Still, I would still like the room 16 that's supposed to have the phase spiders. I would like to have a... What was the room originally used for before the phase spiders showed up? The passageway is full of traps. Two statues of 4 armed snake women. Four armed women with snake bodies attack with poisonous sabers and acid spitting attacks. Okay, all right. The gauntlet. Well, we got the gauntlet down. Okay, 15 is a room for the Kanoka jars. Let's do this. Let's put that there. 15. Yeah, it's a small room. Why not? We'll put that there. Yeah, I'm just thinking. Sorry, people. I was just sitting there thinking for a little bit, like, how's that going to work? The organ chamber. The room contains well, is this the right word? I don't know that this is. Copy. Let's just check this. I don't know if that's the right word. Is the spelling correct? Oh, okay. It's not the right word. It's spelt differently. All right. That's fine. So I can fix this. Contains. Decorative Kanoka jars. Jars with internal organs from the Mummy Lord. There we go. Okay, so that's 15. Wow. Yeah, 14 is the only one left, but I think we need to 14. It's a statue of the Mummy Lord. If the Mummy Lord's gold mask, he is wearing is placed in the statue, anyone in the room is taken back in time where the Mummy Lord was still a demigod and ruler. Oh god, that's complicated. Okay, so let's just grab this. Because we've got rather a lot going on here. Okay, I think I need to move some things around. If I move some things around, this is going to work. But if I don't move some things around, it isn't really going to work very well. So I think I can include most of those ideas. Do we have a room that the floor is water with unknown depth or whatever? Yeah, there is a room that's full of water. Number 4 has got water in it. 4 is flooded, yes. Wasn't wanting you to move. 5, just add the portcullis. Oh, I see. You want to add the portcullis due to the dots as a traffic control. All right, I see what you're trying to do there. Okay. We need a room where the characters face a copy of themselves, but they are wearing awesome armor. If they defeat the foes, they get to wear the fancy new armor. I think we can leave that, Joe. I'll make a note of it in my notes, but I don't know that we need to incorporate that necessarily. The honest truth is, I've never found it a good idea to include magic armor. Magic armor is just overwhelming for a game master. It's so hard to get past the player character's armor class in 5e. If you're playing older versions, it's not so bad, but yeah. 13. Add on the Mummy Lord's familiar. An immortal cat is in the room and can communicate with the players. Okay. Yes, Pale Rider, we can do that. We can do this. Let's do this. So that is 13, where all of the intellect devourers are being housed. The kennels. So the Mummy Lord's familiar. Do we have a name for this cat? An immortal cat. Cat. Cat can communicate with the characters telepathically. Let's give them telepathy. Yep, that's fine. Sal, the Scorpion Mage. We're going to go with Sal. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's just grab this. I don't know what we're going to call this. It looks to me like 14 is going to wind up being the statue room. And I need to show you what we've done so far. It's not complete. Originally 13 was a cat kennel, but the Illithids found a better use than the kennels filled with dead cats. probably was. Okay. The kennels were originally used for undead cats, but have been replaced by the elephants. Okay, got it. That's in. All right. Talk about a lot. 16? What is 16? Oh, okay. Originally was cat and food and pet storage. Are you pet toys? Are you kidding me? He's not. He's not kidding me. He's quite serious. I know he is. The immortal cat, Garfieldicus. Felix. Oh, come on. Felix Gillix. We'll call him Gillix. I'll go in between. The cat is named Gillix. Are we happy with this? If you're not, it's too late. I'm going to put it in. The Mummy Lord's familiar, an immortal cat called Gillix can communicate with the characters telepathically. Okay, all right, I've got that bit. Jeez. It's a big room for storing. I think it is 16. It should be the antechamber. It should be storing all sorts of different things. Annex chamber. Is full of rotten furniture. Rotten furniture. Clothes. Tools. Food. Pet toys. and cat food. The smell home to group of phase spiders. Phase spiders. How are we doing here? Getting there. Phase spiders and undead that can phase back and forth through the ethereal plane. Phase spiders. Let's get rid of the undead and just phase spiders that can phase back and forth to the ethereal planes. Okay, so that's that bit. What about 6? What's happening with 6? When entering this chamber, the party is transported to the astral plane where the room has been moved to an extra-dimensional facility of the Illithid. Oh, geez, that's complicated. Okay, let's. I don't know if I'm going to include that, but we'll see. I will drop it in here somewhere, and I'll try to make it work. Okay. So 14, I need to include 14. I don't know why. Here we go. No, cut. Right, so I can tell you now that pretty much every single area has been done. We haven't decided what magic items this mummy is wearing. It's probably a good idea to have that. Now, call this the Lord's Chamber. The gold layered walls of this. The gold layered walls of this chamber has a statue of the Mummy Lord. The Mummy Lord's golden mask he is wearing is placed on the statue. Anyone in the room is transported back in time when the Mummy Lord was still a demigod and ruling. That is terribly problematic. Let's get real. That's going to cause a lot of problems. Gold mask. The gold mask of time, time, I guess. Something like that. The gold mask of time. Okay, we've created a new magic item. It seems like that's the case. Okay. I like the room 6 being transdimensional. I see where you're going with this. But not astral. Transdimensional, not astral. Okay. All right, let's show you what we've got. For those of you who are still here, before I have to go, let's show you the adventure that you have created. We have a number of NPCs here. Okay, we haven't done all the NPCs, but we've got everything. We've got a lot of encounters, a lot of locations, a lot of stuff. It's not all set out, but it's not bad. 17 locations is certainly more doable than we've done in the past. Okay, all right. Let's make this a thing. And I will try to get this finished on the weekend and up onto Patreon, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 projects. Old Dwarven Mine, Castle, this one. I don't know. Okay, there's a lot. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them to finish. So I'll do my best to finish it up. This is what we have. I'll deal with the adventure hooks later. Wandering monsters, I'll deal with later. Main features. Haven't got to that. We'll deal with that later. Here, what we have here is our location information, and we have a number of NPCs with some names tied in here with information in the text. So we've got number 1 is the large entrance. Number 2 is the excavated entrance. So the large entrance is basically got the pillars, and we have hawk-headed humanoids, yeah. There's possibly a map and a journal with clues to get them started. Excavated entrance or entry is number 2. Grave robbers have dug in here. It's potentially a collapsing hazard. Okay, things might fall on you. Number 3 is the crypt. A number of open sarcophagus line the walls. This is where we have some mummies that might surprise you. Okay, the west door is locked. Yeah. Number 4 is the ritual chamber, used for religious rites, indicated by the scenes painted on the walls, statues, an altar peeking out of the water. It's flooded, and there's a pair of naga in here. Okay, I don't know why we've got so many things in here, but we do. Main gallery is 5. The walls tell the tale of the Lord buried here. There's the original mummy Lord is chained to a throne in this room. We will deal with the name of the mummy Lord some other time. You gave me a whole bunch of names. But basically it's got a ring of fire immunity, the gold mask of time that it's wearing, and we haven't added anything else, but we could. Potentially something you can negotiate with. Defeat those illithids, and you might be able to have a mummy lord on your side and not have to fight it. Would be good. The Lord's tomb, sarcophagus, is being converted into, this is the main chamber. The sarcophagus has been turned into a vat for a mummified elder brain lord. Mummified elder brain. Let's just go mummified elder brain. We don't have to go to lord. Elder brain. 8 illithids are working on the conversion of the coffin into a tub. All the doors to this chamber have arcane locks on them and extremely complex mechanical locks as well. Complex mechanical locks. 7 is the snake chamber. Basically, this is like the inside of a snake. It kind of looks fossilized, but it's acidic. False treasure room is number 8. Pile of gold. Okay. Gold statues, weapons, armor. It's an illusion. It's really a pile of rot grubs. 9 is the treasure vault. The main treasure. There are many treasure chests in this room. It's 20-foot high granite chamber walls. All the chests are chained to the floor, and if you unlock or open them, the whole room turns upside down. One of the chests has an intellect devourer inside it. The main treasure room, which is 10, has a pit sitting underneath this huge pile of treasure, and it's made up of platinum, electrum, all sorts of coins, and it drops into a 100-foot deep pit with poisonous spikes. So they might have to climb down there and get all the stuff out, plus rescue their fallen comrade. Hall of 9, each alcove has a death knight or maybe a skeleton warrior. The undead guardians are kept here, are here to keep the mummy lord contained. The statue of a beautiful woman comes out, has a head of a cat, emerges from this pool of glowing pink water. It's a well of religious purification, and the water, if you drink it, gives you dark vision for 1 hour. The woman asks the characters their intentions, and if they decide to breach the main tomb, all hell will break loose. Okay. Trophy display. The events of King Toots, whatever the heck it is, I don't know that that's going to be the name, but whoever the mummy lord is, carved on the walls here. The chamber is occupied by mummified cats that come to life. I'm not suggesting they're going to attack you. Kennels, rows of small iron cages line the walls of this room. Intellect devourers are inside. They're kept in there by strong magic. You can unlock them. That knock spell is going to come down like a ton of bricks. There's a mummified mummy lord's familiar. There's an immortal cat called Gelix. Can communicate with the characters telepathically. The kennels were originally used for undead cats, but they have been replaced by the illithids. Okay, the Lord's Chamber. Gold-layered room, has a statue of a mummy on it. You've got to stick a gold mask on it, and then things will go badly for you as you move back through time. The organ chamber. This has got the jars with the organs from a mummy in it. The annex chamber, which is full of rotten furniture, clothing, tools, pet food, so forth. And it's got some phase spiders living in there that move back and forth from the ethereal plane. The gauntlet is full of traps, 2 statues, 4 armed women with snake bodies, poisonous sabers, and acid-spitting attacks. And the rest of it is sort of like, I'll figure out how to put it in there sometime. So you guys have done it. So we actually have potentially, you could talk to the mummy lord. There's a whole bunch of NPCs in here that you can talk to. We haven't necessarily given them a name, which is an important thing to do, but we've got the basic gist. I think that's not too bad at all. 17 locations was probably a good number to use. Should have made sure I did that in the past. Okay, I can see you guys are trucking in more information here. Have been fused to his body. He or she is. Well, we could do that, but I don't want to do that. So, okay, all right. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up there. We're gonna wrap it up there. I didn't put up a poll today. I forgot. I was working really hard getting this all lined up. It took me a lot longer because I have to include that scene into a different with the slideshow, and it took a bit more longer than I expected. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been here today. Thank you to my patrons. I do appreciate it. Very nice of you to watch and listen. I do appreciate it. I know it's not something that a lot of people are really that interested in, but I'm hoping you've learned something from it and seen that the community can come together and essentially make an adventure fairly quickly, which means you can do it too. Okay? It's not that hard. It can be done. Anyway, thank you to my patrons. Thank you for you listening and watching. Those of you who have been in the chat commenting, Pale Rider, F. Huber, Nacho Man, who's been here, Negative Space, Overboard Joe, thanks for being here as well. And if there's anybody I have missed that I shouldn't have missed, but I did miss, I do apologize. It was not my intent. Long Shot was here. Thank you for putting in your 2 cents. I do appreciate it. That's great. Nacho Man. Did I say Nacho Man? Fred Huber, I said that one. Okay. I think I've said everybody. If I've missed somebody, yeah. Anyway. Oh, that guy. Yes. Okay. Wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. Oh, Shiner81. Forgot about Shiner81. Personal accountant, Matt. Anyway, go make your own adventures, people. Stop buying them, okay? And we will see you next week where we will make another adventure. But not part of the Game Master preparation. It'll be part of running adventures. That'll be on the Sunday. It'll be a different day. Sunday for me, Saturday for you, probably in North America. Anyway, thank you so much. Go make those adventures. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Dreams are gone. You're welcome.